नमस्ते दोस्तों, आपके ब्राज़ीलियन फ्रेंड here. मेरा नाम राधिका है और आपका स्वागत है to our channel. Today is special because the video that I'm going to react, many people asked me more than once, and finally I am here to react to Swami Dayananda or the Arya Samaj movement. So I'm not going to talk much because I'm excited to see this, so come to watch with me.
If you think that India did not have a great religious leader after Adi Shankaracharya, allow me to introduce you to Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He was a social reformer who fought against orthodoxy. He was even given the title of Maharishi for this scientific and critical approach towards religion. He was the founder of the Arya Samaj. And in those days, there were many influential people who were his followers, which included people like Madam Kama, Swami Shraddhanand, Shyamji Krishna Varma, Bhagat Singh, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Bhai Pamanand, Madanlal Dhingra, Mahadev Govind Ranade, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Lala Lajpat Rai. So you can see some of the greatest people of those era were the followers of this great man. So let us look into his life a bit.
Okay, let's see the life.
Dayananda Saraswati, he was born on 12th February 1824 at a place called Tankara. Now, this particular place, this is a town today in the state of Gujarat, as you can see here, and this is a small town here. Now, this man, his original name, what is his original name? His name is Mool Shankar Tiwari. Young Dayananda Saraswati was educated at home for a life as an orthodox Shaivite. Now, what do you understand by Shaivite? See, Shaivism is one of the major Hindu traditions that worship God Shiva, also known as Rudra, as the supreme being. Shaivite theology ranges from Shiva being the creator, preserver, and destroyer to being the same as the Atman or self within oneself and every living being. It is very close to the idea of Shaktism. And some Shivas worship both Shiva as well as the Shakti temples. However, this perception that he had towards religion changed when he realized that an idol is only a symbol of God and not God himself. So you can understand from here his reason for the worship of or against the worship of idol worship. The death of his younger sister as well as his uncle from cholera in those days had led Dayananda Saraswati to ponder the meaning of life and death. And he began asking questions which worried his parents. So, you can see this phenomena of death had affected him very, very deeply.
It's normal that this type of thing always happens in the difficult moments. We start to reflect about life and death in these moments of pain. So I'm not surprised that he wants to start this new way of seeing things because of what happened with his sister.
His parents wanted him to get married, and that's why he was engaged in his early teens, but he decided marriage was not for him and he ran away from home. Now, where does he go? See, he develops himself. He develops his beliefs at this point of time. And to prepare himself to know the truth and to serve mankind as he had left the home, he started pondering. And here he developed the three ideas that shaped his personality. What were those personality decisions or the ideas? See, number one was disrespect for idol worship. As I was saying in the previous slide also, he did not want his followers and he did not believe in idol worship. Number 2, detachment from the world and disbelief in the rituals and ceremonies. Please see, all these 3 points, they are the core of the teaching of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. He is against idol worship, that's the point number 1. Absolutely, there is a detachment from the world. And third, he opposes the rituals as well as ceremonies. Now, he learnt all this. From whom did he learn them? He became, or he accepted the discipleship of Swami Vrijanand Dandish. He was a blind man and he taught him all these. Now, the thoughts of Swami Dayananda Saraswati were scientific, logical, and pragmatic, as you can understand. And he based all his thoughts on the Vedas and vowed to spread the Vedic message to the entire world. And that's how came the big thing from him. That is his slogan, which we all know as "Go back to the Vedas."
This thing of go back to the Vedas, I think is important because I see that Indian society has so much influence from the Puranas, but we know that the Vedas are more important. I know some people say that the Puranas are so important like Vedas, but I think the Puranas were created in eras, some things were different, the mentality of people were different, and had many political influence. So I also think that we should go back more to the Vedas, because the Vedas is the base, it's the sacred thing, and still useful till now. Like, does not matter the time we are living, it's still practical.
We all have seen this man has given this great slogan at this point of time, which became the core of the Samaj that he will be forming later on. So let us look at some of his other core beliefs, especially with regards to the ritual and idol worship, as we have stated just now.
And the worship. This is something that people always talk about Hinduism in a way to offend us. And I think this is so ridiculous because I do not feel offended when someone say you are idol worship, because for me, the idol is just a way, a symbolic way to you feel connected to God. Because let's remember that the idol is just the image, like Jesus in the Catholic Church, they have the image of Maria, Jesus, but they don't call themselves idol worshippers because they say we are just remembering God. We don't think the idol is God. But in Hinduism, we also don't believe that the image is the entire God. We know that it's just a representation.
There is simply no doubt about the fact that he strongly condemns the rituals as well as superstitions. Now, some of you would ask, sir, what are these superstitions? For example, he did not believe that the supporters or the Hindu people, they need to bathe in the Ganges river. Similarly, he was also against the idea of feeding of the priests on anniversaries. In the eyes of Dayananda Saraswati, all these acts, they were superstitions or self-serving practices.
This thing about superstitions, I totally agree. I think has so many superstitions in the world, not just in Sanatana Dharma, that do not have meaning anymore in nowadays. I don't think it's necessary. For example, I don't think they have a bath in the Ganges is bad, but I think you should do in the parts where it's clean. I think it's most important that the rituals is the meaning behind. And nowadays I see people are more attached to the rituals than the meaning.
He is against them. Number 2, he believes that God is formless. Now, you all can understand. In the previous slide only we said he is against idol worship. Same thing is he saying here right now, that God is formless and rejected the notion that man is made in the image of God. He does not believe in that particular idea. He doesn't believe that man is equivalent to image of God. He is against this whole logic. He doesn't support this. He even rejected Darwin's theory of evolution and stressed on the need to pray to God. So, this evolution theory, which was given by Darwin, was opposed by him. And rather, he said it would be better if we pray to God.
This is something that I do not agree. We know that evolution happened. I don't think we need to say no. I think we just need to understand better, but also should pray to God. It is a thing that I do a lot, and it's really good for me, because pray to God is a way for you to connect and hear His voice. You are listening to yourself. You are connecting to your real form.
Apart from this, he is a believer, as you can see, in monism. Now, some of you would say, what exactly is this? See, basically, it is a doctrine that only one supreme being exists. So monism, that comes from the word mono. It is representing that only one supreme being exists. Now, he wrote one particular book whose name was Panch Mahayagna Vidhi, as you can see here. Now, in this, he explained the necessity of doing 5 daily duties and 16 samskaras. Now, what are these 16 samskaras that you have to understand? That Hindus, they believe that every aspect of life is sacred. Each and every aspect. Now, where does life begin? Life begins from birth. Where does it end? It ends at, let's say, death. So, according to Hindus, each significant stage from conception to cremation is celebrated as a reminder that life is a gift from God, which should be duly respected and lived according to the wishes of the God. So, he believed in that. Along with that, he also believed in the 4 ashramas. What are those ashramas? Brahmacharya, Grihasth, Vanprastha, and Sannyas. Now, as far as ashrams are concerned, this is another concept in the Hinduism, and it is based on age-based life stages. These have been discussed extensively in the ancient and medieval eras. Now, to make you understand, Brahmacharya, they represent the age when you are acting as a student, when you are a student. Grihasth, this represents when you are a householder, that is, you are living a family life. Vanaprastha, this represents when you have become a retired man. And lastly, sannyas, it is the stage where you renunciate everything, you leave everything. You have lived everything that was close to you during your entire lifetime. So you have done the renunciation at this point of time.
Okay, this is something that I also do not agree much. I think sannyas in the days that we are living now, it's a little bit dangerous, because I don't see this as a good thing for the old people, because the modern day is completely different. I don't know. This is health, especially because I know that is not mandatory, many people don't do anymore, but I think, as I say, for now, in the world that we are living, this is dangerous.
So, these are certain things that you have to understand. Now, if we talk about his views on certain social issues also, for example, at the very beginning I told you, feeding of the Brahmanas, he felt was not something that was needed. So you can see, he believed that the Brahman priests, they were the false representatives of Hinduism.
Also, I agree a little bit with this. When the Brahmins took the power, I think many people used this power in a bad way, so I don't think that we should take the Brahmanism so serious. I know that nowadays nobody cares to this, but I don't think we should so attach to their teachings.
He was the first modern Indian Hindu who said this particular fact. He did not believe them to be the true representative of Hinduism. Along with that, his organization, which we have said was Arya Samaj, they started to uproot social evils such as illiteracy, the sort of work that they have done in order to improve the education standards in our country is unparalleled. Similarly, the work that this great man did with regards to child marriage, again, unparalleled. In fact, he said that the Hindu race is the children of the children, and he wanted that the marriage ages, the minimum marriage age, should be improved or increased. Third, he was also against all those concepts of impurity, as well as did not support the idea of polygamy.
I think these are things that are really important, especially the literacy. I think education is extremely important because when you have knowledge, obviously we take better decisions. We become able to understand things in a better way. So the habits of a person of education change, and consequently the society changed better.
Now, polygamy, you all understand. Any man or woman having more than one partner, he opposed this concept also. So, all these things, which were, if I say it like that, they were the socio religious ills of those days, they all were opposed by Swami Dayananda Saraswati and his Arya Samaj in that particular era. Along with this, Arya Samaj, it also aimed to unite the people of India according to the principles of equality. They believed that everybody is equal, irrespective of caste, creed, community, race, or sex. Please understand, this is a huge thing. Today, we may not understand at times the importance of these things, but then think about this man. He is in the middle of the 19th century. Think about this organization which has been formed in the later part of the 19th century, and then talking about these things was immense.
Yes, this is something that I already say it many times here on my channel. Hindus need to be more a strong community. And if we have these segregations like caste, gender, rich, poor, this is going to destroy us. You need to be like one family, because this is how a society, a community can grow. The Hinduism existed for so many centuries and still surviving, and this is great. But we are seeing the others taking the power in India, other beliefs growing in. I know people think, oh, but this is not important. It is, because in the future you're going to deal with these consequences. So I think we should remember what we see in the Gita. The essence is the same. Humans, dogs, Dalit, Brahmi, one man. We all have a brain, and you can use this brain to study, to understand spirituality, the material world. So we have the same capacities, and we should judge by this. The other thing is just going to divide us and break us.
Greatness of this man also lies in the fact that he was a champion of women's rights. The way he propagated the women's rights was huge in those days. As I said earlier also, he has condemned many social evils of those days, and two of them against which he continuously worked was one, the parda. Now I don't have to explain this image would make it very, very clear. He is against the concept of parda, at the same time wants that the women should get literacy. He wants women as the men to be literate in our society.
Yes, obviously this is very important. Like I said, when you have a society with education, automatically we're going to see the results of this in society. Man, woman, everybody needs to study, and more than to the basic things like we see in the college, we need to have the civic sense education, how to be good in our neighborhood, good hygiene, organization, philosophy, spirituality. We need everything, art, culture. All this type of education is extremely important. So we can see this, because when you have a society where everybody has access to formal education, art, spirituality, philosophy, their decisions start to be more intelligent, and also society start to change.
In his view, the emancipation of women can only happen through education. That was a very big thing because, as you all know, 19th century India, the focus on women education was perhaps the least. There was just no emphasis given to that. But Swami Dayananda Saraswati, way ahead of his time, he wants people should focus on that also. At the same time, again, another big evil of that era was the child marriage. As you can see here, he opposes child marriage. And it is because of the efforts done by this great man that slowly and slowly there were many laws created in order to end this menace. And one of that was the Sharda Act, which was brought in 1929, which had fixed the minimum age for marriage as far as the boys and girls were concerned. So, again, if I say it, unparalleled work with regards to women right as well as child marriage.
And this is important to nowadays because marriage in an early age is something that is really common in many countries. I think it's not good because even now the science say that the front part of brain is fully developed after 25 years, and people getting married with 19, 20 is not a good idea because in this hour we are studying, we are entering in the phase of job and work, and I think we should focus on this. That's why, especially here in my country, I see many people so tired because they married early, they get birth early, and they have to work all day, and they become so tired in such a young age. Like, and it should not be like this. First you study, then you go to work, and then when you have a better control and maturity in your life, you should get married. But it's difficult for young people to understand this because when you are young, you think that you are already very mature. You think that you can deal with everything. And sometimes people say to the parents, oh, I know what to do with my life. I don't want to hear any advice, but I think we should do more.
So you can see he's a very, very prominent social reformer also at this point of time. Now, just in the previous slide, I was talking about that his organization, Arya Samaj, wants equality or talks about equality. And one of the worst thing, if I say in those days, which a lot of time would create inequality, was caste system. So let us look at his views on caste system, his core thought. Now, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, he denounced the caste based on birth. He was against this particular concept. He, in fact, urged that there should be a reorganization of the caste system based on the principles of the merit. He wants this thing. Apart from this, he is asking that we can include personal qualification, division of labor, as well as mutual cooperation to redo this caste system. He argued against the category of bhangis for removing the night soil. Swamiji was very much against, totally against the concept of untouchability. He is a firm opponent of untouchability's concept. And as I said, inspired by his teachings, his disciples, they organized many societies, many groups. One of them was Dalit Uddhar. That literally means, as you can see here, Dalit plus Uddhar, uplift of the depressed classes, and also talked about Achut Shuddhi at this point of time. Apart from that, Swamiji and his Samaj, the Arya Samaj, they advocated intercaste marriages. They talked about that people belonging to different castes, they could marry into each other caste, which was again a big thing for that particular era. His teachings later became the basis for even Gandhiji's movement when he was working in 1930s for the upliftment of the Harijan society. In fact, if I quote Mahatma Gandhi here, In 1920, Mahatma Gandhi, in his magazine Young India, he had stated, caste has saved Hinduism from disintegration. But like every other institution, it has suffered from excrescence. I consider the 4 divisions alone to be fundamental, natural, and essential. The innumerable subcastes are sometimes a convenience, often a hindrance. The sooner there is a fusion, the better. And as Gandhiji also suggested or advocated intercaste marriage at this point of time, just like Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Let us now look at the views of Swamiji with regards to astrology. Now, as you can see here on the screen, astrology is being depicted as fraud.
And this is
This is
controversial.
the views of Swamiji. Let us clear this thing. Number one, Swamiji is making a distinction between Jyotish Shastra and astrology. This we have to understand. In the views of Swami Dayananda Saraswati, these two are very, very different. Former, that is Jyotish Shastra, according to him, was science, whereas the later, that is astrology, is fraud.
I know how many Indians, Hindus really like astrology, and this, I'm going to be honest, I do not have a great opinion about this, because for me astrology is something that we should not pay so much attention. I'm not against, and to be honest, I try to see a little bit of the Vedic astrology, and I do not feel connected. I don't know if nobody could explain me well, because I couldn't understand well. But when I see my personality, my sign in Vedic astrology, I don't think that it's similar to me. In the Western astrology, I feel a little bit more. So I don't know. I'm not against, but I don't know. I think astrology is something that you can take it easy. Like, you can enjoy to see, have fun, but I think it's not science. It's not science. So I think it's not something that should be so attached like this.
Fraud. Now, in his book Satyat Prakash, he writes about Jyotish Shastra that thereafter they should thoroughly study the Jyotish Shastra, which includes arithmetic, algebra, geometry, geography, geology, and astronomy in 2 years. They should also have practical training in these sciences, learn the proper handling of instruments, master their mechanism, and know how to use them. But they should regard astrology, which treats of the influence of stars and constellation on the destinies of man, of auspiciousness and inauspiciousness, of time, of horoscopes, etc., as a fraud, and never learn or teach any books on this subject. So you can see some very firm ideas and thought on astrology as well as Jyotish Shastra from Dayananda Saraswati. Apart from this, he also believed in karma. Now, what do you understand by karma? See, it is the principle of cause and effect that continue over many lifetimes. Any thought or action, whether they are good or bad, it contributes to karma. Along with that, Swami Dayananda Saraswati also believed in reincarnation. Now, reincarnation is being born into a new life to learn spiritual lessons and to resolve karma from previous lifetimes. Apart from this, he also held the view that good deeds should be done for the welfare of others and not for self. So these are his ideas.
I like his idea very much. Obviously, he was a guy of education. He knew what he was talking about, and he was very important for in the society. He had an open mind, and it's because of education. That's why I say education is not important just for men or women, but everybody. Because when you have education, have critical thought, we know what's better for us and the community. Okay guys, I will stop here because this video is too long. I cannot react every time, and I don't need, because we already could see his idea. He's a reformist, and his reforms were really good and very logical, and I think this is good, especially because it's Veda based, and the Vedas is really important. I think I already said this, that we should focus more on the Vedas than the Puranas and others, because they have importance, but some things in the Puranas are so related to the past that do not fit more in our modern society. So I liked a lot. I am very grateful for the people that sent me this, because I didn't know yet this movement, and I love to know because I identify with most of his ideas. I really loved to know this. I think I'm going to learn more about him and his reform. But thank you again. If you have more suggestions for me to react, let in the comments and I will. Thank you for watching this video, and please share with your friends, give a like, let a comment, because this helps the channel a lot. See you in the next video. Firmly engaged.